Hey everybody, it's Chop here at 69 South. We have gathered quite the following of new and faithful listeners. In fact, we're in 72 countries and 1,600 cities. It excites the shit out of us, to be honest. We have countless downloads and streams. If you're a small business starting out or an accomplished business looking for some good advertisement, shoot us an email at 69southpodcast@gmail.com. The 6 and the 9 are numbers, southpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you for listening. Have a good day. We will send you a advertisement package. Welcome everyone to Podcast 69 South, where we cuss and discuss true crime, cold cases, current events, and hot topics, along with our state of society today. This is your trigger warning. Our podcast content is produced for adult listeners 18 years of age and older. We discuss situations that may be offensive and triggering to some listeners. Sit back, relax, and enjoy. Welcome back to 69 South, everybody. I'm Chop, your host, and with me is my beautiful co-host, Julie. What are we getting into today, and how are you doing?
I'm amazing, per usual. But today, believe it or not, we have another episode covering Miss Brittany Fortenberry. Another student has came forward with allegations against the embattled teacher from the MSD of Martinsville. And she was teaching at Eminence, which is where the events led her to getting caught.
Boy, just when you thought all this shit with Brittany Fortenberry was over, here comes another one. So without further delay, let's get into the PCA.
So this probable cause is based upon the following facts and circumstances of the detective investigating this case. Now, during the investigation of Brittany Fortenberry, the detective was contacted by a Mr. Wright, the chief of police for MSD of Martinsville Police Department. Chief Wright stated to the detective that he was notified by staff at the school that another student was possibly an individual involved or a possible victim of Brittany. Chief Wright shared some contact information with the detective so that they could reach out to the parent or guardian of this child.
On September 4th, 2025, the victim's mother reached out to the detective stating that the victim was finally opening up about the relationships with Mrs. Fortenberry. The mother stated that when the detective had first reached out to her, that the victim was not admitting to anything at that point in time and inquired if the detective was still interested in speaking with him. The detective told the mother that he was interested in talking with the victim, so they set up a time for her and the victim to come in to talk to the detective.
On September 9th, 2025, the detective had the opportunity to speak with the mother. Now, she told him that her child met Brittany through another student, and that student referred to Brittany as his aunt. She said the whole time frame was pretty short and that her child typically didn't run around with these other students or children, and that she gave the names of those children to the detective, and that she later learned that Brittany wasn't an aunt to any of these kids at all and was friends with another individual's mother.
The mother did say that they were contacted early in the investigation by DCS and they had spoke with them, but at the time the victim didn't admit to anything, and that over a period of time since all this stuff had went on, that the mother and father had tried talking to him, just to see if something happened, because obviously he was with the other kids at the time, and we'll find out later that he went to the concert that was in question on the other PCAs. After a little bit, I guess the kid kind of got comfortable talking with his mother or father about it and told him that something actually did happen, but he never would share exactly what. She said that all this came about around September of 2023. She said that it was around his 15th birthday.
Now, she mentions a concert that he went to with Brittany, and she was the adult chaperone for it. She said that he shared Brittany's phone number with her in case she needed to get a hold of him. She thinks that they went to the concert, but doesn't remember specifically asking him who all attended. She stated that he supposedly spent the night with another child that night as well. And the mother said that she started thinking that it was a little strange that these teenage boys were spending time at, quote unquote, the auntie's house, but didn't think too much about it because the kids were friends.
I mean, initially you wouldn't think too much about it, man. Dude's going over to spend a night with his buddy's aunt, you know what I mean? And she's a teacher, just the same as all the other shit. It's just progressively grooming and, you know what I mean, taking advantage of these parents' trust.
Very much so.
The mother had said she thought that it, happened over a 3 or 4 week period because she didn't really remember her child mentioning Brittany after the night that they went to the concert. She said that there might have been a couple lingering interactions where they passed each other in the school hallway, but nothing like going to, stay at her house or anything like that.
She did also state that her child hadn't shared specifics with her, but has said there was intimate contact and that drugs were also involved. And he had said something about mentioning carts, which would be like weed carts,
weed cartridges.
I think is what they call them.
Yeah, they're cartridges. They just basically say carts, I guess.
Oh.
The mother did say that there was a time that her child had made some comments to his dad that was kind of suggestive that something had happened. And I get that. I got some sons, you know what I mean? You get your son, just you and pops, you know what I mean? Shit starts coming out. You can kind of coax him out a little bit to say, come on now, I ain't going to tell mom. It's just me and you here type shit.
Yeah, usually dads can get more information from their sons than a mother typically could.
Well, they don't want mom knowing that shit. You know what I mean?
Mom will whoop that ass.
Yeah, buddy.
So the mother finished talking to the detective, and then the detective is going to interview the next victim. He starts off by talking about going to his friend's house, and he said that his friend asked him if he wanted to go and stay at his aunt's house. He said yes, and they did. They stayed for a couple nights. Now, while out there, he said that the aunt gave them weed, carts, and alcohol. He never had any of the alcohol, but he had heard stories, and this was how things started. And that he found out that the aunt was Brittany Fortenberry. He had never met Brittany before this and never had her for a teacher, but he thinks he was 15 when he first went out there. And then he mentioned that Brittany took them to a concert on his 15th birthday, which was the Gray Day Suicide Boys concert. So they clarified that he met Brittany prior to the concert, which would have made him 14 years old.
His buddy was like, hey, bro, come out to my aunt's house, man. It's all cool out there. She's cool, man. She's got some weed. She lets us drink out there.
Shrooms.
Hell yeah. It would sound absolutely fucking amazing to a 14 or 15-year-old boy.
Oh, yeah. They'd be like, hell yeah, let's go out there and hang out.
Let's go check it out. So like any curious 14, 15-year-old boy, he went out there to check it out. He said everything seemed normal at first. He said Nick, the husband, seemed kind of weird, and Brittany was a little touchy, like on his arms, and that she would always compliment him, saying that he had the perfect hair, wanting to braid his hair. He said one time he was cutting wood, and Brittany made comments about how strong he was, doing all the work, grooming at its finest.
He talks about things progressing and getting weird. He says that his friends and himself were boxing, and that Brittany wanted him to fight her and that he hit her in the face mask. And then Brittany was being all weird after that. He said that Brittany said it made her feel all weird with him. Now, on another day that he was at Brittany's, he said that they were boxing with gloves and wearing protective headgear, and that Brittany told him that there was a growing tension between them. After the boxing debate or them feeling all weird, they went inside to watch a movie in Brittany's room. They sat on her bed and Brittany put her hand on his thigh. The movie they were watching was something about hockey, and Brittany said it was one of her favorite movies. Brittany had kept her hand on his thigh there until the movie ended. He said after the movie was over that his friends and himself went upstairs to get something to eat, and then they slept in Brittany's kids' room on the bunk beds. I just find that it's so not right. You're bringing students that go to your school and you're a teacher into your bedroom to watch a movie?
Yeah, he didn't know really what the movie was about. Boy, his poor little mind was going 90 mile an hour with her hand on his thigh. And
Like, what is she trying to do? I mean,
he's like, all I
what's
knew was
going
something
on?
about hockey. I don't really know what the fuck the movie was about. Other shit was going on. He said the first time anything sexual happened was the night before the Suicide Boys concert, that the concert took place on 9/20, so the incident would have happened on 9/19. They went out to the garage, smoked some weed, and Brittany kept looking at him weird, and he looked at her and was like, what's the deal? Brittany asked him if he wanted to come fill up her booze. He said he was stoned and thinks he took some shrooms, and he was kind of loopy, and he was like, why not? He said that she had started filling up on him and that things escalated after that. He said it was just him and Brittany in the garage. He said that his buddy was initially in the garage but smoked a bowl and went inside.
He said that Brittany was wanting to fuck. They had sex until real late, and he said that he woke up late and was late to school, and that Brittany kept wanting to wait to take them to school. And then he talks about Brittany wanting to buy him race gear and always wanting to give them stuff. Brittany bought him clothes for her house, shoes, and a new phone when his was broke. He said that he remembers Brittany taking them to Waffle House at least twice.
The detective clarified wanting to know more about the sexual encounter. He said that they had had sex in the garage, then they went back inside, and Brittany went to bed with her husband, and the victim slept in the kids' room. He couldn't remember Brittany's husband's name, but mentioned that he worked at a fire department, and they had gone there a couple times. He said he couldn't remember where the fire department was where they had went to see her husband. He said that his buddy and himself had went to where Brittany's husband worked. He said that it was afternoon, evening time when they had gone there. He said that Brittany's husband knew that the boys were there. He said that the husband was always chill and liked having them around. He said that her husband seemed like he was always there to help them. He said her husband didn't know that Brittany was giving them shrooms or anything.
That's just so strange to me because I remember in some previous probable cause affidavits that we read, I think they said that there was cameras in the garage and that she either moved or manipulated them in some way where so somebody couldn't see what was going on.
I'm just speculating
in the camera.
here,
but if her husband, Nicholas, is inside the house and she's out in the garage doing this little boy, I mean, was the camera still in the garage? It's just odd to me that a man is at home and you have all these teenage boys around and your wife's nowhere to be found and you're just chilling in the house while she's out in the garage smoking some weed, doing some shrooms, getting a buzz, drinking some alcohol with these kids. I mean, are you sitting in the house watching the security camera? I mean, if there's
a little bit
one
nosy
still there
and looking at the cameras one time or another, I mean, he fucking has to be. I mean, I'm speculating here, but come on. It's hard for me to believe that dude didn't know what the fuck was going on.
We'll be right back.
Discover Rosie Posey's farm stand at 6082 East Hadley Road in Mooresville, Indiana, home of the sourdough bagel bombs. Crafted with love, these bagel bombs burst with flavors like Asiago cheese, jalapeno pepper, blueberries and cream, and everything bagel. Their artesian sourdough loaves come in classic, chocolate chip, jalapeno cheddar, and garlic parmesan, just to name a few, and they are pure perfection and the best in the area. If you're craving some sweets, they have homemade cookie sandwiches and cookie dough and s'mores flavors delight. Grab a farm fresh flower bouquet from the iconic pink roadside stand and go follow Rosie Posey's farm stand on Facebook for daily menu items and availability. Visit Rosie Posey's for an unforgettable taste experience at 6082 East Hadley Road. So the detective then clarified what first sex acts between Brittany and the victim were. He said that she sat him down in a chair and started sucking on his thing. They moved down on a yoga mat and were doing it doggy style. He clarified, saying his thing was his thing. And then when they were down on the yoga mat doing it doggy style, he was humping her and said that she had him put his thing in her private spot and said they did it for a while, cleaned up, and went inside.
He then started talking about the second time that something sexual happened between him and Brittany. He said they got back from the concert that they went to, and he remembers going into the garage and he was sitting in a chair. She sat on his lap, and they were having sex like that. He said Brittany was sitting on his lap, had her boobs in his face, leaning on him, and he was feeling on her boobs. She was rubbing his thighs, his private area, and she reached down his pants, and then she got undressed. He said no one else was in the garage when that happened. He said the other two boys was in the house while it was going on. He said that Brittany started taking his shirt off and then took her clothes off. He said he didn't remember how Brittany was facing while they were having sex, but that he was in the chair and she was on top of him. Later in the interview, he said that like the first time they engaged in sex during this incident, she was on top of him and he put his privates in her vagina.
He said he feels that there were other things that happened with Brittany but couldn't remember. The detective told him that if he starts to remember after they had their conversation, to let him or his mother know and get in contact with the detective.
It sounds like this boy is like embarrassed of what happened, and he probably doesn't really feel comfortable talking about it, and I don't blame him.
No child, I don't think, would be comfortable having discussions like this. Now, the detective asked if there was anything else that had happened that he wanted to share. He also stated that Brittany had sent him tit pics. She might have sent him badge pics, but couldn't remember. Now, this was all done through Snapchat. The Snapchat started after he added her, and that he added her initially because he was going to have her pick him up after school one day. He said that he got her Snapchat account information from another student, and then mentioned that later in the interview that there were some conversations that Brittany had told him if he wanted her to send him stuff that she would, like naked pictures, in which Brittany sent him around 5 to 10 inappropriate pictures. He said that he had never sent anything back to her and that these pictures might be saved on his Snapchat account, but never to his camera roll on his phone. This was his old phone that she had bought for him, and that he had a phone for a couple of months until his parents got him a new one, and he believed that he had broken that other phone.
He had said that the sexual stuff between him and Brittany stopped after he started getting uncomfortable. He said he was one of the first people to go over there, and that he had heard about 3 other people after he had been there, and he was done. He said that, quote, she just handed it out to everybody and anybody, which was allegedly true.
So he remembers one time that an older Asian guy came over This guy brought weed, shrooms, and stuff for them. He sat down, and Brittany sat on this Asian guy's lap, and they were touchy. He said that the Asian fellow would touch on Brittany's boobs, and she would touch on his neck, and that they were like getting kind of intimate there. And so Brittany tells the boys that they need to get out of the room for a little bit. And they all went into a little storage room with the door shut. And it wasn't just him, it was him and 2 or 3 other male students. I think it was like 4 of them all together. And it was a storage room, like an extension off of the garage, and it had yard care things in it. He said after some time, Brittany told them they could come out. And Brittany said that she had had sex with that guy and mentioned something about it being quick. He said this happened probably a week before the concert. The detective said that he was familiar with the layout of Brittany's garage, as he's been to the residence on different occasions, probably for their search warrant and stuff of that nature, and that this victim had described everything accurately.
He said that he has known several people that has been involved with Brittany, and he said that they told him that they had doing it for years. The detective then reviewed some of the things that they had talked about, drugs and drug use. He said that any time they would ask Brittany that she would give them carts and shrooms or weed, he said that Brittany was big on shrooms. He said that Brittany had 5 or 6 drawers of sex toys and asked if he wanted to see something kind of funny and kind of weird. He said that they opened up 3 drawers up at once, and they were full of dildos and vibrators. He said that Brittany had a vibrator in her car that was remote control, and that some guy had control of it, and it would buzz every couple of days. He said that was weird. He said that they kept hearing something going off in the car, and it was in the side of the door. He said that he was sitting in the front, pulled it out, and asked what it was, and Brittany said that a guy had given it to her, and that he makes it go off, and that it was remote control. I didn't know they made remote control dildos that somebody could turn on and off remotely. What the fuck, does it have a cell phone signal or something, or is it Bluetooth? Or
why would you have it in your car?
In the fucking side door where you're taking teenage boys driving around. Remote control dildo. That's fucked up.
Oh my goodness. So the detective asked if he could remember anything about Brittany's bedroom. He said she had a big bed, clothes everywhere, a bunch of mirrors, a couch, a bathroom, and that she had pocket pussies in the bathroom. He said that Brittany told them they could use them if they wanted. He never did and didn't feel comfortable to use them, and said that she had a decent-sized closet in the corner.
Oh, yeah, there's some pocket pussies in there. If you go take a shower, you can use any of them.
So I'm just getting this picture in my head of walking into this home. I mean, there's dildos and pocket pussies laying everywhere around. She can't use a pocket pussy, so they had to be Nick's. I'm assuming they would be Nick's, allegedly. So, I mean, who else in the house is going to use them?
I don't know. It's fucking weird. But after the detective got through with the interview, he basically asked the mother if he could do a dump on the victim's phone. And they did a dump on the phone. And the victim had described Brittany Fortenberry's minivan, and that's what they drove around in. And they did find one picture on the phone that the victim had referenced in the interview, and the picture was captured on 9/11. And the picture was taken from the back seat of the minivan, and all you could see was the back of a woman's head in the driver's seat, which I'm assuming was Mrs. Fortenberry.
And I was wondering, I don't know anything about Snapchat, so I wanted to look into it. And I don't know if it's like a big wide thing used by just teens, or, I mean, it's adults too.
I wonder if, like, the police, if they had a warrant, like if they went to Snapchat and said, hey, we got a warrant for these alleged Snapchats that were sent, if Snapchat could go back in their servers and look at that type of shit.
So I looked it up, and Snapchat's whole vibe is built around temporary content. But per se, it's not disappearing forever as it sounds. People have ways to keep stuff around if they want it. So here's how it works. When you send a photo snap to a friend, it's set to vanish after they view it once, or a few times if you allow replays. Unopened snaps stick around until they're checked out or expire after about 30 days max on the Snapchat servers. Once viewed, the app deletes it from both your and their devices automatically. No trace left in that chat. But even though Snapchat servers erase viewed snaps pretty quick, within seconds to minutes, the recipient or even you can save it before it dips. Plus, Snapchat doesn't stop old school tricks like screenshots or screen recordings, which grab a permanent copy outside of the app. You will get a notification if they screenshot it, but not always for screen recordings.
So if you sent me a picture and it was supposed to disappear and I screenshotted it, it would send you a notification saying that I took a picture of your Snapchat message?
That's what the information I got said.
I've never fucked with Snapchat, so I have literally no idea. I mean, when it first came out, I may have tried to fuck with it, but I mean, I never really got into it extensively, and I'm talking about fucking 10 years ago.
Well, people can keep your pics. The viewer can long press the snap right after opening it and hit save in chat to keep it pinned in the conversation thread. It stays there indefinitely unless someone deletes it. And deleting is one-sided. You unsaving yours doesn't touch theirs. This is the most common way to save without extra steps. Or you can save it to your Snapchat memories. So memories is a folder. It's like a private vault in the app for revisiting old snaps. You can export to your phone's camera roll from there. So that's another way to save
So parents,
them.
if your teenager, underage kid has Snapchat, maybe you should think before you let them play on it, because as a parent, I want to see what the fuck my kid is sending and what's being sent to my child. And it sounds like that they're able to communicate and send pictures without any repercussions or without any, you being able to, without you being able to monitor what your kid is seeing and sending. That doesn't sound very good to me.
The whole app of Snapchat was built around that these messages should disappear forever if no one saves or screenshots them. So if you're sending spicy or private shit, you should assume it's always going to stick around. But this app is built.
It sounds like the app is built for sending shady shit you don't want other people to see.
Yeah, so if I was a parent, I would not be letting my child have Snapchat. Block it.
I mean, even a parent, if you want to send your kid a picture, your kid sends you a picture of something, do it through a regular text. I mean, I don't see the reason for an underage child having something that can disappear. I just don't. It doesn't sound fucking cool to me.
Because you need to monitor everything with these kids. Every single thing.
Because if you don't, your kid might be the next kid that goes to Auntie's house with weed and pocket pussies. I don't know, man. I just think it's better to be overprotective with your kids these days. This world is a fucked up place, and in my opinion, the internet is fucking kids up.
Absolutely, it is. They have the internet is too much information for a child's brain. They only need so much at a certain time. For school, I mean, computers and internet should be used for 100% school purposes only.
I mean, when I was a teenager, I didn't know shit.
We didn't even have internet when we were kids.
I feel like the child's mind needs to focus on learning math and English and social studies and science. When a kid has nothing more to learn, like everything is out there on the internet, it's like their mind has to go other places to satisfy the learning want, the natural phenomenon of a human's brain. If there's nothing left for them to learn, I feel like it goes to a fucking bad place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That's exactly what it's doing. And if there's a phone or a device available for a 9, 10, 11-year-old to pick up, they can read. And I'm sure they can read a lot better than people think from being on that devices all the time. And that's all you're doing is reading or watching videos. And it's just too much information for young children.
And kids are naturally curious, and I get that. So when they can satisfy their curiosity by sitting up all night watching YouTube or getting Snapchats from maybe kids or adults that don't have any...
The best of intentions.
Exactly, thank you. It's just... Dangerous. I just wish it could go back to the old days. I really do. I miss the old days. But unfortunately, the old days are gone. The only thing we can do is try to raise our kids and live like we were in the old days and just utilize the information that we can get off the internet for positive things. Anyway, do we have any updates on the Brittany Fortenberry case?
She did have court today, and they amended her charging information, and they added her new charges, which I believe it was like 3 or 4 counts of sexual misconduct with a minor, and then contributing to the delinquency of a minor. She got 2 of those, and dissemination of matter harmful to a child. Those were her new charges, and then her stuff is set for pretrial conference in December, but this is a huge case, and I'm sure there's probably going to be a lot of delays, and honestly, I don't see this case going to trial in probably a year from now.
Well, that's the updates on the Brittany Fortenberry case. Thank you for listening, and if you want to support us and help us keep the lights on in the studio, go to
www.patreon.com/69South.
Or hit us up for a fire-ass 69 South cussing and discussing shirt. Until then, have a good day, good evening,